All right, let's take a look at the arts. So first things first, boom, this one.
Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, I'm just chilling. Do you have much to say about it? I look cool. The outfit, like this artist in particular, kind of, you can see they kind of like to draw kind of puffy-ish, very oversized clothes, look very comfy. As you can see, I'm just dining, chilling, not crying, as you can see on my face, on a table for two. I mean, I'm not happy either. I don't look happy either.
No.
But there are little white flowers you can see on the table. What does white flower represent?
I'd hazard a guess to say purity, perhaps.
Purity, or when you have someone dead, maybe. I think it's related.
Grief, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it goes to this. Dong. Boom, change of vibe. I kind of like it's the same composition, but it just become dark out of nowhere. And the little detail I like is the little feather on the chair over there. Like you understand everything, you know? And the flowers just become the cause of, Leah's death. So it's kind of like the crystals, and you can see at the background like the meteor falling onto the, from the sky to the ears. I think that's cool. You can see like
it's very inspired.
It's kind of like the little detail over there I want you to look at. As you can see, you have the watch, the clock on the top left. Boom, it's broken. So it's kind of like, ever since that time, my time have stopped as well, I like it very much. Very, very emo. I like it. That's right. Do you want to talk about yours too?
Yeah. I'll talk about mine. All
right. Here we go. Boom.
Okay. So first of all, hey, handsome. Really love the way they drew me here, and something really interesting here. So I really like the contrast that this draws. I think when it comes to my my sort of history and my journey as a member of Nijisanji, and how much I've kind of changed, I think, or how much I've changed the way that I want to do things over time. So this first one, it kind of has the what's the right word? It has sort of echoes of the way that my career first started, where I feel like my whole vibe was, I wanted to be, I was kind of marketed and sold to people as this sort of super suave gentleman. I've got a flower, and there's, the red flower, red sort of comes with, the passion, love, and all of that sort of stuff. But obviously red carries a lot of very interesting darker connotations as well. And something I really want to point out, there is an interesting story behind this bird that I think is really interesting. So this is my balcony, right? I live in an apartment quite, rather high up, and I have a balcony that I can use to overlook the city. And one day, a couple years ago, I was playing Fall Guys, and I hop on stream and I say, guys, there's a pigeon on my balcony. I'm scared. Because I've never been pecked by a bird before. And I didn't really have any frame of reference for how painful it would be if a bird fully went for me and tried to peck my hand. And I was like, I don't know, I want to get him out of here. And I tried shooing him, but he couldn't figure out how to jump down. He couldn't figure out how to get over the railing, so he just kept flapping at the kind of the balcony railing, and then would flap a little bit, realize he wasn't going anywhere, and then just sit back down. And I was like, oh god, I've got to get rid of him. I have to, because he's gonna shit everywhere if I don't do it. Okay. And then I just kept running back and forth between stream and saying guys, what do I do? And then eventually I found a chainmail glove that I had bought for my night ASMR, and then I wore that on one hand, and I grabbed him and I chopped him over the edge, and I watched as he very slowly glided all the way down and turned around and floated straight onto someone else's balcony. So I was like, okay, that's someone else's problem now.
No.
And here he is. here the pigeon is. I mean, in this, it's not actually a pigeon, but people have kind of made that connection. And I'm officially saying that, yeah, it's canon in this music video that is the pigeon that keeps haunting me. And perhaps that pigeon represents something. Maybe the soul of someone I've wronged disappeared, perhaps not into me, but into that pigeon instead. And he was around, inums the souls of dead sailors and all of that.
I hope that the other neighbor have a chainmail gloves as well.
Exactly. But why don't we take a look at the alternative version?
All right, let's take a look. Boom.
So it's very nice. So now the rose is withered, and it kind of represents the I think kind of the loss of intimacy, but also the loss of connection. You know, the way in which when I'm at my best, how I can be very easily connected with human beings, and how I find them to be, you know, I find myself so enraptured with them, but how as the cycle goes, I will always find some way of ruining everything. And, the rose withering, I think, represents that cycle in a way. And now the pigeon the pigeon is gone. I like to imagine that the pigeon in the first one is it kind of represents almost, it's harmless, but it's like an omen. It's that something worse is coming. And then in the background, this is not, in fact, a pigeon. This is an albatross, referencing Gustave Doré's illustration, the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, or the albatross. The albatross is, what's interesting is it's originally supposed to symbolize luck, but I think that what's really interesting about this is that it also carries a metaphor for shame and of guilt. You know, the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, of course, being a poem with many themes like this. So what I think is really interesting is sort of the double meaning there, where yes, I feel very lucky, and my fans always say they feel very lucky to have met me, but for me, sort of connection with human beings always carries like a tremendous amount of risk. And I think that luck, in a sense, also means, yes, I happen to have wandered into just the right career where I can have relationships with people without putting them in danger, but also it doesn't mean that shame is, you know, has gone anywhere. It's still very much with me. And and what I also like, and it's the same as on my my outfit for Overture, is the jagged horns that I had when I had my transformation last year are still there, even though I'm in sort of a more ordinary, more human body. And for me, I think what I want to represent with this, and I mentioned this about my Overture outfit as well, but also about this one, is that I think I want it to represent like a certain degree of acceptance, where I may not be under the illusion that, you know, everything that I've done in the past is completely okay, but also to an extent that to where I need to accept that there comes a point where I need to embrace who I am. And I can't be afraid of what this is. And so having those, you know, and those horns are very special, because whenever transforming, they only come out like that if I'm extremely in a state of extreme stress or panic. If I'm very calm and reserved, then they come out much smoother, like in my second outfit. So these kind of wearing them proudly, I think, represents something very good, and sort of understanding that the low points and the guilt, but also what I am capable of doing well because of how different I am. That's something I need to learn to be proud of, and I think that's what those represent for me. So I was really, really happy that they wanted to take so much inspiration from who I am and what I've been through, and for yourself as well. It's just very fascinating that all of that goes into such an interesting illustration, and something they wanted to pay that much attention to. And these songs are getting made fast. They've got to work hard on these, but they still took the time to make sure they made it special, and they made it work for us. And that's really, really important.
Damn, as deep as your voice. I kind of like how I really like how the wing, as you're saying, like, is kind of like a shadow. That's cool. Yes. Gosh, I forgot to mention that. I was so busy focused on the other stuff, but of course, that's yet another reminder of everything that's lurking inside. So don't every time you think, guys, maybe I can trust this guy. I don't know. Just remember to be skeptical, no matter who it is that you find, no matter who that suave gentleman is.
you never know what someone's real intentions might be. You know, you never know what might be lurking in the shadows behind them. So just look out for yourself, all right? Remember what they said in that League of Legends song? Look out for yourself.
Look out for yourself. That's true. How about we talk lyrics too?
We talk what, sorry?
Lyrics as well.
Lyrics. Yeah. Let's talk lyrics.
Let me open the lyrics somewhere. Well, it kind of feel like really like people with a lot of responsibility, people that carry a lot, you know? I guess it's kind of vibe overall.
Yeah, I mean, heavy lies the head. Obviously, you know, it's a classic saying, or either it's heavy lies the head or it's uneasy lies the head. It's that with great, you know, it's like Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great responsibility, although it's less so about responsibility and more so about really the higher you rise and the more you succeed, the higher people's expectations become and the more responsibility that you have. And as a result, that, you know, it really does mean to have great power is to have great responsibility. And if you want to achieve great things in life, you need to be prepared to sacrifice you know, a lot. And that, I think, is what the song is really all about. At least for me. You've got the sort of the opening lyrics. Taking what I need, living sin, I'm leaving greed, do it how I know. Living life half asleep, cause the world's going crazy over numbers. It's like, basically what that is supposed to be about. Obviously, it's that is our career. That's the world that we have found ourselves living in. And it's really interesting to sort of think about it in that way, because obviously we have succeeded so much and we've had, you know, some crazy numbers on projects that we've done over the years, and to think about, you know, people's obsession with that. I almost, in my mind, I feel like I've kind of, even though I used to worry about that kind of thing, I feel like I've kind of succeeded so much that I almost feel like I'm past it now, you know? Like I kind of don't really know how much more I could top myself with regards to that. So I feel like my priorities as a person have changed. I'm not really interested in pursuing, you know, huge numbers or anything. I feel like, you know, it's art that really appeals to me now. And I think that these lyrics kind of speak to how, while the rat race is going on and while, you know, so many people will not only will people kind of sacrifice huge parts of themselves, like I did, you know, a long time ago, sacrifice a huge part of yourself in order to achieve, you know, in order to achieve those big numbers. But I think a lot of people out there will do some pretty shady stuff to try and get there. It's, you know, the world's going crazy over numbers is that, you know, people will do anything, not even if it comes without any financial reward. I mean, you know, we've seen how social media just completely turns people into these nasty people because they just can't help themselves. They keep, you know, tearing each other apart, looking for that validation, looking for that dopamine hit. And it feels you know, that to me feels like that's the crown I'm very privileged to wear, in a sense, is that I feel kind of unaffected by that at this point. And I think that's, you know, it's really interesting to have that lyric as something that goes beyond that. And really, I think what this song, from that, to me, it's about, regardless of, you know, the way that you're perceived, regardless of, you know, the way that people might try to construct narratives about you, it's that the crown belongs to people who who have command of their own destiny, in a sense. When you are fully in control of what it is that you want to do with your life and what it is you want to do with your platform, then that is the crown that you carry. And it's almost in a sense that, you know, that to me brings comfort. And heavy lies the head might have multiple meanings. Heavy lies the head can mean that it's that your head, you know, it lies disturbed, and that you kind of, you know, uneasy lies the head means, oh, with all this responsibility, with all this power, I don't know how I can live up to this responsibility. But also, heavy lies the head might just mean that it rests heavily upon the pillow. Perhaps I'm just chilling out, you know, living life half asleep. My head lies heavy on the pillow.
I really feel like you're the only one.
Whatever it is.
You're the only one to know this kind of words. Like, heavy lies the head is the first time I ever heard that saying.
Really? I remember Heavy lies the head. I'm trying to remember what the origin of it. Heavy lies the crown. So according to Wikipedia, it is a misquote of the line "Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown." From I knew it was Shakespeare from Henry IV Part 2. I knew it was Shakespeare, but I wasn't actually 100% sure which Shakespeare it was.
So uneasy lies the head is the original.
Uneasy lies the head. The idea that obviously in Shakespeare there's a lot of in a lot of Shakespeare plays, or at least his tragedies, there's plenty of political intrigue. There's plenty of sort of strife and worry for the kings and queens in his stories. And so what you can have there is, if you have power, inevitably someone will try to take it from you.
I see. Oh, very interesting. I learned a lot.
Yeah, there's so much to learn about this stuff, and I always find it really interesting because I'd heard it a long time ago, but I hadn't really thought about that expression too much. And then hearing that we had a song based on it, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
That is definitely cool, yeah.